Tuesday, May 23rd, 2017. I am Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and change. If it's Tuesday, that can mean only one thing. Duane Long coming to you from a mild state of Ohio, at least in the Gem City. Dwayne, how goes it this fine off-season morning?
Well, it's going. You know what? I'm missing football so bad. I just, I'm enjoying the basketball playoffs and there's some things going on, and the Buckeyes doing well in lacrosse. But I'm ready for football season already. That's off. We've been off long enough. Let's play some football.
Let's talk some football. We can't play, so we will fill the void here with some chatter. One of the main topics that's been discussed, and I think is going to be discussed probably in perpetuity here, is the discussion of backup quarterback. There are those lining up on the side for Dwayne Haskins. There are those lining up on the side for Joe Burrow. Dwayne, you've been pretty clear the whole time on how you think Meyer's going to handle it. It's probably not the resolution that everyone wants, but you think this is going to go on for some time?
It should. There's absolutely no reason for Urban Meyer to name a backup. Backup quarterback really doesn't matter right now. The only time backup quarterback matters is when the starter's down. You want to keep observing these kids, watching them develop, see which one's going to be the best quarterback, and try to hang on to both of them for as long as possible. If you name one of them as a backup, the other one's going to leave. You're going to lose them. And that's eventually going to happen anyway. We know that, Dan. Both of them are going to not stick around. But keep it going for as long as possible. These are young guys. They're still developing. Let them continue to develop and just watch them. And when you absolutely have to, name a number two guy. I would like to see it. I know Urban Meyer is thinking this. If I can keep them both until you got to name a starter before game 1 of 2018, that's when he probably wants to name a starter. He doesn't even want to worry about naming a backup. Name a starter. Let both of them play the season. You're going to get both of them in the games. But don't name the next guy up, let's say. Let's forget about calling him the next year's starter or the backup right now. Don't worry about that. Just next guy up. Don't name the next guy up until you absolutely have to. That's what he should do, and I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, necessity could take care of the situation easily. If the supposed starter and JT Barrett goes down with an injury, you'll see real clearly what they want to do there. But there seems to be a growing belief that whoever does lose the job will transfer. You believe that?
Absolutely, I believe that. Quarterbacks transfer more than any other position because one guy plays. Quarterback is your leader, so you want him on the field. It isn't just about playing the position. He's going to be, a lot of times quarterbacks are captains, but either way, they're leaders of the team. So they're going to stay on the field a lot. You don't see the backup a lot. So, yeah, I believe that whoever is number 3 is out of here.
It sounds ominous, but I would remind people that this is actually a good problem to have. It'd be much worse if Joe Bowserman was the issue than that we're dealing with now. I got to see that to believe it. I kind of have a feeling that Burrow could stick it out. I could be wrong, but we will check on that. Speaking of sticking it out, the Buckeyes have stuck it out to the end of the recruitment of Teradja Mitchell. He has announced that he is down to Florida State and Ohio State. He announced that last night. He also said he will be making his decision on June the 2nd at his school, private school, Bishop Sullivan in Virginia Beach. What's your vibe on Mitchell? It does seem like he took his last visit to Tallahassee, and there's a serious trend towards Florida State. I think we have to assume now that he's favoring Florida State. How do you feel about that? And what's your update on Mr. Mitchell?
I'm just not that worried about it, Dan. I got to tell you, I love this kid's junior film. He was big time. That's what an inside linebacker is supposed to do. That's what a Mike linebacker is supposed to do. But since then, I mean, I just could not believe this report. He ran a 5-flat 40. Now that's not a guy that's going to be running down backs on jet sweeps. It's just 5-flat. I am just very concerned about that. I don't know. I love the film, but I don't know about the athlete. It's really a big question right now. So I'm, hoping for the best as he commits to the Buckeyes and we can get him in here and, let Mick have him and see where that goes. The athlete is just he's not been real impressive.
Yeah, I don't see a 3-down linebacker there. That's a stereotype. I think they still would have recruited Raekwon McMillan, but keep in mind Raekwon's facing that question now, headed to the second level, and I think he's a better athlete and a more versatile player than Mitchell was at this point in his career, so I don't see Mitchell ending up as a Buckeye. If you look at the crystal ball trend, it favors Florida State heavily under the old whoever gets the last visit approach. Speaking of linebackers, though, in a more positive sense, Bill Kurtlick had an update recently on Tucker linebacker Michael Harris. It does seem like it's much more likely that Harris could be a Buckeye. He said that Ohio State is still at the top. In April, he told Bucknuts that Ohio State was his favorite with Auburn number 2. Buckeyes are still number 1. Harris plans to be in Columbus next month for a camp, June 17th. What's your vibe on the 6'2", 213-pound, 4-star prospect out of Tucker, Georgia?
Now that's a guy. You got to love everything about him. He is one of the best tacklers I've seen in the last few years. He hits, but he also wraps. He makes the ball carrier absorb. He is very fast, very instinctive. He's got everything going for him. I think there's the one knock on him is he's not the biggest kid, and he's more an inside linebacker than an outside linebacker. My argument has always been he's still fast enough to be an outside linebacker, plenty fast enough to be an outside linebacker. So if he doesn't thicken up, get as big as you want, move him outside. Just a great, instinctive, very fast linebacker who hits a ton and tackles great. That's the kid I want. Stick him in the middle and see what happens. Don't worry about
those who didn't know,
not big enough to play in there.
Well, it's interesting that we talk about Harris right after Mitchell. To me, Harris has the frame of the modern middle linebacker that you want to develop. Yes, he may have been an outside guy, in the prior iteration of football, but now he is the inside 3-down linebacker, especially if he's got experience doing it. He was raised in Springfield, Ohio, which we know is a football hotbed. Sometimes we have trouble pulling guys out of there. See Alabama, but I'm feeling very positive about Harris. Another recruit that I'm not sure we should feel so positive about, or should we, is a commitment out of California, Jaiden Woodbey. Seems like he could be wavering. Alex Gleitman has followed this intently and let us know that Woodbey was always one of those guys that even when he committed, he was always going to have to still be recruited. What do you make of the Woodbey situation?
Well, I think that's what's going on right now. Everybody else is recruiting him. And, we say that we've got to keep recruiting players even after they committed. But don't tell me it's the same level of commitment to staying in contact. And, it's just going to be different, Dan. You've got other priorities. You've still got other players you're trying to recruit. So he's probably getting more attention from others, and he wants to take a look around. And I imagine, kids here are always going to get pressure to come to Ohio State. It's all around them. Buckeye fans. Well, he's probably getting it out there from, who knows what school, but closer to home. There are going to be people who are USC fans, UCLA fans, Cal fans, Stanford fans, Washington fans who are going to be, in this kid's ear. Plus, those schools are probably working him a little bit harder. He's committed to us. they gotta change his mind. So that's what's going on. I'd really love to hang on to him. I think he's a big time player. One of the best safeties around this year. So I hope we can hang on to him. I hope the hometown draw and the home state draw does not get to be too much. And who knows what his parents are saying, you know. Maybe he's thinking about that. Mom and dad traveling to Ohio 7 times a year from California. That's, you know, driving distance matters. And you're talking about having to take planes, and you know, maybe he doesn't want to do that. Maybe he's thinking about that. He wants to come to Ohio State, but it's really going to be the devil's in the details. So let's just hope we can hang on to him.
Good place to end it, and that's why I think you'll see USC be the main competition here. We appreciate Dwayne stopping by. Have a great Tuesday, Bucknuts.